The Flash, issue 29, legacy number 829, Christopher Cantwell and Mark Waid writing, with VASCO GEORGIEV on the art. Take it away, Matt.
Hey, just like I'm not gonna, get rid of Superman. I can't get rid of Flash. I just started reading it, and this dials in more on the Wally and Barry stuff, or Wally and Bart stuff, and it picks up right where we left off with Barry, or with Wally with the flight ring, and he left Bart with Iris, and this is the night that Barry's gonna get struck by lightning, and he shows up and sees Barry, and Barry is like, "How'd you get past the front desk? Why are you in my office? Why are you in my lab? Why are you dressed like this?" And as they're talking, the Darkseid's Legion version of Dream Girl comes in. And this is what was very confusing, because where this story goes now is that Dream Girl starts to show Barry what his destiny is. And in the windows, so there's some cool art stuff going on here. In the windows, we see some of his adventures as Flash. And Wally's like, "Why is she doing this? I feel like we're being tricked." And she puts her hand on Barry's shoulders like, "Look, we can't disrupt this. You have to become the Flash so other things can happen." Right? So this is where Darkseid's Legion shows up with them. So they're getting a lot of FaceTime this week between Flash and Superman. They end up fighting. They knock Barry down, and as he's covered in the chemicals, the lightning bolt comes in, and they're supposed to redirect it from Lightning Lad. And when they do this, it'll become the Omega Speed and change everything. Except as it's going through Lightning Lad, Wally takes the hit instead. And so now Barry doesn't become the Flash, and time is altered. And they go to, XS is there as well, and it says the Speed Force is in full retreat. I can feel it. It's on the brink of death. And Saturn Girl's like, "Oh, cool. Kill Barry Allen and kill Wally West." And as she says that, Bart wakes up, freaks out because he sees his grandma, but she's young. He runs out and takes the car, except he doesn't drive well. So he's driving all over the streets. And he ends up driving to the lab and knocks down the wall to save Wally and Barry. Dream Girl ends up taking on her like dream form and shows them the actual Legion of superheroes. And is like, "Look, this is our truth. Whatever we are now isn't what we're meant to be. And this needs to happen." And as she's showing the Legion this, right, we see the traditional looks. Max looks over and sees him with Wally and Bart. And that kicks him from being, the Whip Whirlwind version of him back to Max Mercury. And Bart's hurt, right, because he drove the car through the wall. And his heart is stopped. And Wally starts freaking out, and as they're freaking out and trying to resuscitate him, Bart ends up going, I guess, into the Speed Force, and he sees Jay there, and Jay's like, "Well, I wish I had better news, but you're kind of dead, but you're on your way out, you're kind of in this realm in between like I am." And he talks about the KO thing. And he's like, "You are a descendant of the first Flash, right? Barry Allen's your grandfather. The Speed Force is a living mystery, but you are it and it is you. So only you can reignite it, right?" So as XS had said, the Speed Force was receding, right? Because of Barry. But you still have an Allen there with the Speed Force powers. So he ends up resuscitating and hits this lightning. And it seems like through this, he becomes the lightning that hits Barry. And it ends with Bart taking on like this full like golden yellow form and getting a hug from Wally. And they end up teaming up to take out the Legion. But as he's doing this, he ends up getting possessed by Darkseid. And is like, this is all for nothing. He only becomes the Flash in order to die. and Bart freaks out, and he's like, I can't be here. I have to go save Barry now in the future. So he speeds off as this living embodiment of the Speed Force in order to face down Darkseid. And that's where it ends. So much better than, you know, some of the other tie-ins, because it's still a Flash focused story. Just there's a lot of Speed Force shenanigans in here with Bart almost dying, not having access to his power until he does die, becomes this living embodiment of it to go on to stop Darkseid from creating the Omega Speed and whatnot. The art is really good. I like especially the stuff with Wally and Barry, and with how it you know, it makes Barry seem that much more important, because he's standing there in the white coat and whatever, and just the way they draw him, he still has that sense, like he's putting all these things together, and because he doesn't talk a lot, right? So you have to get like from the expressions and all this. So when he gets hit by the lightning and whatever, it's almost like not a surprise. But yeah, definitely weird with the like the Darkseid possession kind of thing at the end. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I will give this a 7.5.